They just push each other so much to the point of like, if you don't deliver something, then we'll all go to the other way. Like it's intense.
Yeah. Today, we're talking about Universal's new Epic Universe. But before we get into that, let's talk headlines from around the world of Orlando business. Universal Studios is making strides in stunt safety. The company has filed a patent application for a device that would make the death-defying falls from their stunt performers defy death more effectively than ever. When it comes to taking big falls, performers typically use a giant inflatable airbag to cushion their landing. Universal's patent application proposes a way to make this safety precaution even safer with a device that can factor in the weight of the performer, height of the fall, and other considerations to inflate the airbag to the exact pressure needed for a safe landing. The filing shows that precautions are taken seriously in the stunt world these days, and outside of maybe Evel Knievel's orthopedic surgery team, I'm sure everyone is happy. Space, the final frontier. For unions? Around 30 employees at Merritt Island's Kennedy Space Center filed a request with the National Labor Relations Board to unionize. Instead of starting from scratch with a brand new union, the workers aim to join an existing one through an Armor Globe election. If successful, the union would cover various positions under the Space Center's Kennedy Infrastructure, Applications, and Communications contract. Florida banks are feeling the pain. Between the Fed's efforts to offset inflation and a slumping economy, Florida banks are feeling the pain as deposits decline. Consumers have been shifting their funds to secondary banks, sometimes pursuing higher yields, but a larger driver is likely the downward trend over the last few years in consumer satisfaction with their primary banking institutions. In this year's J.D. Power Satisfaction Survey, only 4 banks in the entire state had satisfaction scores higher than the previous year. The rise of digital banking means switching accounts is easier than ever before, so the trend is likely to continue if banks don't change their approach. That's it for headlines, and before we get into our story of the day, this episode is brought to you by my next entrepreneurial adventure, Out of Office Orlando, a co-working content studio where you can create content, connect with other local professionals, take a dip in our lazy river, or get a lap in on our outdoor electric go-kart track. It's like a country club where you can be productive, and I really think you're going to love it. If you're interested in learning more, shoot me an email at james@sweetfishmedia.com or send me a DM on LinkedIn, whatever tickles your fancy. All right, let's get into our story of the day. All right, so Mark, lots of talk, lots of excitement the last couple years around Epic Universe, right, that Universal's building. We were talking offline, we're both kind of Disney guys, but with them coming into Harry Potter, getting that IP, getting the Harry Potter IP, integrating into the parks, kind of I don't know that they're at where Disney is, but like they're certainly a whole lot closer.
No, I feel like for a long time, it was always like Disney, Universal. And
the gap was just getting wider.
Yeah. And I feel like Universal didn't know what to do. And Harry Potter was supposed to go to Disney. Do you know why?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So supposedly that Disney wanted like characters, like, oh, I want to take a picture with Harry.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling said that, no. They only exist in the book and the movies. And Universal's like, great, we don't need it. We'll just make up our own characters. Like, just give it to us. Yeah. So that was what happened, is that Disney was like, no, we have to do it our way. We want meet and greets and we want that stuff. And JK was like, you guys are crazy. So Universal got it. So that is what, I feel like those first few years, it was, are you going to Disney Universal? Even tourists would come here and be like, we have to hit Universal.
Then they expand it into so it's now 2 parks.
Yeah, it's in both parks.
And so it looks like it's going to be expanded into the Epic Universe.
Yeah.
Now too, and they're it's like a Nintendo Land. It's going to be over there.
Dragon, classic monsters. But the thing about, I was always nervous. I worked at Disney and I worked at Universal. Okay. Right, separate. I was in shows there, and I'd always be anxious about just the real estate at Universal Studios. Yeah. It wasn't there. It's in the middle of a neighborhood, which is weird. So they have to destroy things to make new things. In fact, fun fact, I was in the Beetlejuice show when it closed. Okay. And everybody was so sad because they destroyed it. They erased it so they could put Fast and Furious
Which
up.
sucks.
It does. It does. It's so short and
it's just cheesy
terrible.
And ugh.
It's not great.
They killed it with Bourne.
It's not. They did kill it with Bourne.
They absolutely just bum-fuzzled.
It's so funny because I can walk through the ride and I can remember where the backstage was and the stage was. And it's so sad because again, Beetlejuice wasn't the best show, but it was a staple there.
Yeah.
Like Wayne Brady did it. Yeah. Joey Fatone. Like there's legends that did that show and it was just so cool. So I was always nervous. So I always like, part of me kind of hates that with Universal. I feel so bad.
It's like you have to tear soming down to be able to make it better.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're just so like stifled in their creativity. Yeah. So when they bought this land a few years ago, I think three to 5 years ago, whatever, I know the whole city was, but especially theme park lovers were like, oh, now they can do stuff. Now they can add stuff and not have to destroy some of our favorite stuff. Yeah. Whether it's still good. I mean, they haven't taken down Space Mountain. Yeah. That thing is dated as hell, but like, I'm going to ride it because I rode it as a kid, right? Yeah.
I want my kids to ride it. Yeah. I want them to experience what I,
They don't have it as much. Jaws isn't there. King Kong's not there. So, well, Kong is, but not
Yeah.
But this gives them that opportunity to basically build out whatever they want and hopefully some more land. So I think it was really cool for the city and for Universal Studios to say, oh, we're still a player in this game.
Yeah. You were saying that you think it's a little too far away for the Harry Potter worlds to kind of be connected.
Yeah, I feel like the way it looks, and again, I don't know if they're going to announce it or whatever. I'm not in the room where it happens, but it feels like it's going to be a car ride or a shuttle ride or something. It's down I-4 to the left. Okay. Really. So I think it's going to be a minute, but I mean, you'll still feel the same thing as you do over there. And now, I mean, you have to buy a park hopper to go to both parks anyway, even though most of us do.
And the volcano, the Volcano Bay there. So there's, so there's the three. Do you know is Volcano Bay doing well?
Yeah. I mean, we have debates all this time about like, is it Blizzard Beach or Volcano Bay, right? Volcano Bay is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I've been once and it was dope.
It is awesome.
Yeah, you can. I like that you can see it you can see the volcano from everywhere.
It's like the big tower. You're like, where are we in the park? But I know that Epic Universe has some cool. They're trying to be really innovative. Universal's always been innovative with their rides because again they don't have real estate. So like we can't build these big coasters. We have to do it. On a 2-story like house. Yeah. Like really. Yeah. So I know they're being innovative. They're open some patents. I know that when you walk around, you have like this little band that's like a Mario, like you can collect coins and stuff, which is cool. And they've also opened a patent for one of the rides, the Donkey Kong ride. It feels like you're actually like flying. They're doing like cool stuff like that. And then I think they're going to do a classic monsters ride as well. With like Frankenstein and bring back Beetlejuice a little bit at the show. But
have you heard anything about the stunt safety patent?
I have read about that.
Is that for like a Bourne type?
I would think it's going to be like, and when I read about it, it sounds like it's going to be like they can basically take the weight of the stunt person. Let's say the person weighs 210 pounds and they like, whether it's jumping off or doing something, but this like, what is it when somebody gets in an accident, pops out? Airbag. Like an airbag pops out and it'll like catch them in the perfect situation. So which means they can rotate people in and out. It can always be somebody different, you know, which means it's probably gonna be a lot of shows during the day if it's that precise. Yeah. But I don't know what they're gonna do. I know they have, maybe it's a Harry Potter stunt show. Maybe it's something. I don't know.
I mean, to see the success that they've had with Bourne and just how much of a fan favorite that is. My wife is like not a hyperbolic person at all. Yeah. She went to Bourne and she was like, that was the greatest show I've ever seen.
It's so cool. It's so confusing. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I took my little kids there. I have a 7 and 5-year-old and they were like, Dad, is that guy real? Or is that guy real? Is that guy real? And I'm like, yeah. No, that one's not real. No, I can't tell. I'm like, that's amazing. And I'm sat in the front row. It's so cool. So if they can do that and that's the old T2 one, which again, they had to erase Terminator to make something new. Yeah. So I think that they're really going to be able to like open up their wings, all the creativities over there and just fly. To be honest.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, like, you know, I think Universal is, I think I saw this in a video where Universal's taking kind of a regional play where it's like, okay, we know we're landlocked to a certain extent, even with this extra park, but I think they're doing something I see in Texas, or like they're doing some regional plays outside of Orlando. But, you know, in April, was it Iger? He told shareholders, like, we're doubling down on Disneyland and Disney World. We're not chasing this regional thing. We're not trying to put, you know, Disney theme parks all over the country. Right. We're just going to make the two that we have way better. So I don't know. It's just great as an Orlando resident to go, you got Universal up in their game, which is like, okay, checkmate. Like, what's Disney going to do?
Yeah. Cause I don't have, we all have our preference, but I don't have a horse in the race. You know what I mean? I don't care who wins. I don't, you know, I just think it's cool that they're just push each other so much to the point of like, if you don't deliver something, then we'll all go to the other one. Like it's intense. It's fun to watch.
Somebody told me she used to work at Disney, so she's biased towards Disney, and she was like media Disney, so you like see her face on like the old fast passes and stuff. Right. And she was like, I used to always tell people, go to Universal first, because your interactions with team members are like, and your interactions with cast members are going to be very different. It is very different. Because the culture that those two organizations have. So I like that they're distinct enough. Yep. It's like more adult experience, more like child-centered, magical kind of experience, but both good experiences.
They're both great. Yeah, we actually had our brokerage, our real estate brokerage had a buyout of Islands of Adventure like 3 nights ago, and it was maybe awesome. 5,000 of us there.
Holy cow!
But Universal, and I've done both a lot. Universal feels like you're just like flexing, and you're just like, I gotta do that. Like it just feels like you just like drank an energy drink, like no matter where you go, and it's a great experience. Disney's like taking it all in and like making memories. And like, I don't even remember what happened that night. I just know it was awesome. You know what I mean? Disney, I'm like, remember when we walked down the street and we held hands? And all, but it's 2 different experiences, but you have to do both of them. And the fact they're only 9 miles apart. In this city, and we can experience it as a local.
It's so good. Dude, I just found out that butterbeer only has 200 calories in it.
That's it?
I have no, I don't think it's true.
Frozen or regular? Frozen all day.
I'm not a buffoon.
I know. Well, it's funny story is that we got it free the other night. Well, not free. I'm sure we all paid for it in our own way, and there was a huge line for it, and all these like real estate agents, not from Orlando, were in line, and they were just giving him the regular butterbeer. And I was like, and I yelled at him,
"Are you an animal?"
Frozen. And people were like, "Why?" I'm like, "Just do it." And I changed the whole evening. I don't know if they were trying to get rid of their regular butterbeer because nobody buys it, but everybody was like, and they were like, spit it out. They're like, "I don't want the regular butterbeer."
It's trash. Yeah. I legitimately don't know why they sell it.
I don't either.
But we looked it up on, like, the friend that I was with looked it up on multiple sites, like Googled it.
Yeah.
And then MyFitnessPal. So I don't know if it's like, that just seems, it's too delicious to only be 200.
Feels like it's 200 calories.
Right? That's what we said. The froth alone is probably 200 calories. 200? So that's what it says in MyFitnessPal. It's what it said on multiple articles.
Google every time I read it.
So I don't know if like somebody just put out 200 and then all the other sites and MyFitnessPal copied off of
maybe.
off of that. But I'm like, it feels like 200, like maybe for like the serving size, and there's like 4 servings per thing, like 200 calories per sip. Anyway, hopefully they've got frozen butterbeer at Epic Universe.
I'm sure they will.
So anyway, this all of this Epic Universe, like Universal upping their game. It's going to cause Disney to up their game. It just ends up, people in Orlando are going to win.
Yep.
and the world who comes here every year is going to win. Mark, we close out every one of these with a favorite person, place, or thing. What's the favorite that you're going to talk about in this episode?
I mean, let's keep it on subject is Universal Studios. Yeah. As a local, it's the first time I've been in probably about a year was the other night. And I just think it's really like, it's a great place to go get the passes aren't that expensive. They're cheaper than Disney.
Yep.
And I think to go just for the afternoon or a Tuesday evening, walk down City Walk and pop in.
City Walk is freaking cool.
It's awesome with that big NBC place.
Yeah.
Like I think that our natural reaction, especially for new people that live here, is to stay away from that, stay away from it. But no, embrace it because it's cool. You can find little pockets of each place.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a huge line to get into Cowfish. Don't stand in that line. Go somewhere else. But that's one of my favorite places is going to City Walk and just popping in Universal for 2 or 3 hours and then coming out.
I love it. Yeah. Mark, how can folks stay connected with you and everything you've got going on?
Yeah, follow on Instagram, mark.raumaker, and I run a real estate team called the Orlando Home Squad. So follow us there. We have a podcast, all that stuff.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. That's it for Orlando Business. We're out.